What's up, everybody? This is your godson Ken. Just I want to make a quick video, real quick, um, and I want to talk about this whole thing with Country Wayne and Nick Cannon, and basically talking about men having multiple baby mamas. Um, when basically talk about men having multiple baby mamas, but then their situation, and I'm basically making this video because there's been a lot of stuff, not a lot, but there's been articles and stuff going around talking about Country Wayne since he went into the Breakfast Club, and he basically mentioned that he takes care of his baby mamas, and he has no problem taking care of his baby mamas, and they basically could do whatever they want, and he left the situation with them, okay, and so he grants them the freedom to do whatever they want, but since they have his children, he's gonna make sure that his children and thus his baby moms are also taken care of. And I'm really making this as a kind of a my opinion based on Oshay Duke Jackson's opinion on this, and then I've seen other brothers' opinions and stuff on this as well. So what I want to do is I'm going to go through. I've got this pulled up here. Let me make sure. So, and if you guys want to check out Oshay's full video on this, you guys can go to Oshay Duke Jackson or whatever, and we can pull it up there. But for right now, we'll go ahead and listen to it together real quick, and then I'm going to give my opinion on it because it's certain parts of this to where I just want to give a direct rebuttal because I don't necessarily agree with this type of stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Or four. Dude, you got 5 baby mamas. And what you're doing is giving them a nice life and they can deal with whoever they want. Bullshit. Okay? If she go with somebody else, let the guy take care of her. Basically, what you're doing is taking care of her while she going and dealing with somebody else. That's why that chick here said, as he should. Okay, so a man should be able to have a kid with you, y'all not be together, and he's supposed to provide for you while you do what you want.
See, and this is where I kind of have a problem with this because the way that he frames this, first of all, when you're talking about Country Wayne and Nick Cannon, those are two people who are literally millionaires, if not multimillionaires. I don't know if Country Wayne's got multi-millions, but he's at least a millionaire. And then I know Nick Cannon has multi-millions. Those are two guys who are in the financial position to be able to do that. And so, is it that the woman is demanding this? No. From this particular example, and what Country Wayne explained is that he left the relationship with his baby mamas and he literally grants them the freedom to do whatever it is that they want to do. He's not going to restrict them from being able to go see other men or be with other men and stuff like that because he himself is not going to ever be, as he said, he is never going to be their Russell Wilson, aka he's never going to be their husbands, so to speak. And so if they need to go and find them a husband to do good for them, he is okay with that. And see, this is the difference. This is why I say it's a little bit like disingenuous when you bring up this argument because you try to use Country Wayne's situation and then try to overlap that with the general guy's situation. The general guy is not in the position that Country Wayne is in. The general guy is not in the position that Nick Cannon is in. So, and basically, when you're talking like that, you're trying to basically compare them to like a Pookie and a Ray Ray. The stereotypical guy in the hood that does have multiple baby mamas and stuff like that. But the key difference between a Pookie and Ray Ray and Nick Cannon and Country Wayne is that Pookies and Ray Rays don't typically actually take care of their kids, not only from a financial point, but they're simply not there usually either. In Country Wayne's situation, and then also in Nick Cannon's situation, they are financially taking care of their kids. Now, I know a lot of the rebuttal from that as well. How much time does Nick Cannon or Country Wayne actually spend with their kids? And my thing would be with that, if he's even just spending the weekend with the kids, or if he's got the kids every other weekend and stuff like that, then that's honestly not that bad. Especially when a lot of kids out here don't see their daddies at all. Like, they'll not see their daddies for 15, 20 years. And then the baby mothers don't receive a dime from the Pookie or the Ray Ray. Or if they do receive any type of money, it's literally like $20 or $30 every month or so. And the baby mama's got to go beg for that stuff. But in Country Wayne's situation and Nick Cannon's situation, that's not what's going on. That's not what's going on. This is a dude that, and again, I'm not saying that I agree with Country Wayne having 10 kids by 5 different baby mamas, or that I agree with Nick Cannon's choices, but that's just their lifestyle choices. But the thing about those lifestyle choices is that they've put themselves in the position to be able to support those lifestyle decisions. I want to look at the positive of this stuff, though. I want to look at the. Not kind of getting bright. Let me see if I can go ahead and transition that over. I want to look at the positive of this situation. And that they're actually taking care of their kids. And again, going back to this, sorry, I was touching it. I didn't dive into detail too much on it. When it comes to the whole like spending time with them and stuff like that, if you are a full-time husband or a full-time provider, your time with your child is. We just throw this out there. It is what it is. Your time with your child is going to be very minimized to a certain extent anyway. It's that whole work and life balance equation and stuff like that a lot of people, specifically people who are really into their business, have to try to balance out. So to sit there and try to use that as a kind of like a gotcha type of thing, I don't think that's as much as a gotcha type of thing as you think it is, because to the people who are saying, well, how much time are you spending with the kids and stuff like that, I would ask them, well, how much time does your baby father, even your husband that you're married to, actually spend with the kids? And if he's spending heavily with those kids to like you as a home wife or whatever, or traditional wife are spending, then there's going to be some issues there. There's always that balance thing. Even if you want to go take it back to because a lot of the times in these, in this sphere, we'll go to the whole, back to the medieval times, stuff like that. Well, if you go back to the medieval times, during the times of war and stuff like that, obviously the husband or the man was not in the house, so it was up to the woman to be able to raise a child and stuff like that, because the man was literally out fighting the war. So he doesn't have time. He literally doesn't have the time to just spend with the kids. And when he does have the time to spend with the kids, when he does have free time to spend with the kids, he does that. And from Country Wayne's perspective, I would be willing to bet that, hold on. Oops, sorry. I would be willing to bet that he definitely spends a good portion of his off time with his kids and stuff like that. So trying to compare what these two are doing as a way to say, okay, this is what you shouldn't be doing. I don't think it's a real. Again, I don't. I think it's a disingenuous argument. I don't think it's a real fair, valid point. Just because where Country Wayne is, where somebody like Nick Cannon is, it's not typical of the normal guy out there, black, white, or whatever. It is what it is. All right, let's get back to this over here.
This is what the system is like. The answer is no. No, I'm not going to provide for you a high quality of life if we break up. You want me to pay for something? Give me my child. Point blank. You want somebody to provide for you the things that you need? Go ask the new guy.
And see, and that's what I'm saying. 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 It's not a very genuine argument here. Because the thing is that, okay, let's say if we take Oshay Jackson's example here, and he goes and gets all of his kids, Country Wayne is still going to have to find somebody to take care of those kids, whether it's babysitters, whether it's nannies and stuff like that. And he's going to have to pay those nannies and stuff. So it's like, look, Country Wayne has understood, okay, he's at a position in life to where he cannot take care of those kids in the way or the nurturing way that you would typically be able to raise a child. But the mother's in that position to be able to do that. That's why I said he left that situation. He left that situation. He most likely weighed out the options and said, okay, it's better for them to stay with their baby moms and stuff. He's better for them to stay with the baby mom, and I'll go ahead and pay her off. The thing about the baby mom situation too is that he probably still has sexual access to his baby moms if he wants to. He most likely has sexual access to his baby moms if he wants to. He just chooses not to do that. He chooses to do his own thing. And it is what it is. He's built up a brand and built up a financial security blanket for himself to be able to do that. It is what it is. He can do that. But the typical guy cannot do that. So when you're trying to overlap what you would do, in this case, we're talking about Oshay Jackson, but if you in the same reference or frame of mind as Oshay Jackson, this applies to you as well, where you're trying to overlap what you would do as in a typical situation, you can't really apply that to this one here. And let me go ahead and just go ahead and break this down real quick too, because I think people just be capping. Look, I'm a single dad of two kids myself. And I will definitely tell you that this whole just give me the kids and I'll take care of them myself, that's all great on paper, but in practicality, it's a lot tougher than a lot of people want to really lead on. It's a lot tougher than a lot of people want to really lead on. Because again, as I said earlier, you have to be able to weigh out what you want to do. Do you want to be building up your career and your finances, or do you want to be raising your child? It is very difficult to do both at their peak. It is very difficult to be able to do, excuse me, get this lighting right. Ooh, a little bit high. Stay in camera, man. All right, there we go. Anyways, it is very difficult to be able to do both at their peak. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an actual practical example. This is practical. If you're taking care of a child, two kids, let's say one of them is 6, one of them is 7. If you're a career person and you're supposed to be putting in that, what does Kevin Samuels often say, 60 to 80 hours a week to get to where you need to get to, who's going to watch the kids? how are those kids going to be uh, nurtured and getting the stuff from you and just you? That's just not, it's not a practical thing. From Monday through Friday, most of your daycare centers, they close at 6 o'clock. So most of the time, then what you would have to do is when you're trying to really be on your hustle and really be on your grind during that Monday and Friday between the hours of about 8:30 a.m., 9 o'clock to about at least 7, 8 o'clock at night, you're going to have the kids get out of school at 2:30, 3 o'clock. You're going to have that time period of where you're going to need somebody to be able to take care of them. That's why daycare is so expensive. But in a normal two-parent household, you will be able to share that burden. Somebody's able to work the early shift, and then typically the dad might be working that late shift. The dad or the father figure or the breadwinner or whatever you want to call it might be the one that's working to that 7 or 8 o'clock, while the mom is home by 2 o'clock or whatever to be able to get the kids off the bus. But if it's just you doing that by yourself, you got to now pull back. You can't continue to work them 60, 80, 70, 80 hours no more. You just literally don't have the time. Or if you're going to make the time for that, then what's going to happen is that you're going to have to find somebody to be able to take care of those kids. You're going to have to either find a nanny, find a daycare that's open to that late. There's not a lot around. There really aren't. Or what happens is that you might have your mom or something like that. But then that's just you using your mama. And she don't have to do that. She shouldn't have to do that. That's your kids, not hers. Or you can have the baby mama do that. See, that's why I said there's always pros and cons to everything and stuff like that. But when you're trying to extrapolate and take their situation and try to just apply them to you, it's like, look, it don't really work like that. At least to me, it don't work like that. And again, a lot of what I'm seeing when it comes to a situation like this is that a lot of people are taking and putting themselves into the situation a little bit too much instead of just looking at the situation for what it is. And then they try to put a label on somebody, not knowing who they are, where they come from, or something like that, and not even being in the same realm of reality of what they're at. Again, Kountry Wayne is at least a millionaire, and Nick Cannon is a multimillionaire. If you're not on those levels like that, then you honestly shouldn't even be worried about this type of stuff because it doesn't apply to you in your situation. You can't take you can't take a normal person that's making $30,000-$40,000 a year and then try to extrapolate their life and use it as an example versus somebody that's making $2-3 million a year. It just doesn't work like that. All right, let's continue watching this real quick.
You're not going to be dealing with me or not dealing with me, and I'm going to be providing for you for five different baby mamas. And guys, understand this. You guys don't think that broke shit can happen, right? Like, you have 5 baby mamas. You probably still messing with all of them. How much money are you spending every month and just starting it up? Like, this is how black men go broke. Certain dudes, okay? Certain dudes, I just want to say this. Certain dudes don't understand, like, how success can really ruin your downfall or lead to your downfall. Some dudes ain't ready for booty. Some dudes was just better off being broke. Okay? Just better off being broke. Okay? Because when you start getting all this booty, you start going crazy, having kids, don't want to take care of your kids. And there are black men out there like that. And you think that, okay, since I'm sending money, that's cool. But what about the other guys that's coming in your house? You don't know what they doing to your kids. You got so many kids, you can't even, and you still out there doing the same shit.
Again, it's a bad faith argument. It's a bad faith argument. You don't know what they're doing to your kids. That's a bad faith argument. First of all, you're making it seem like he's not in his kid's life, which you don't know that. Two, if you actually watch Country Rain's skits, you'll see that he's actually got his kids or two of his older kids involved in his videos and is teaching them the game and the ropes to where they can have their own money and be cool and stuff like that. Three, if you look up Country Wayne's history and stuff like that, he's like, and he tells the story all the time. He's been working on his grind since he was in his 20s. But he started having kids back when he was in high school. Him having kids is a big part of what made and motivated him to want to make sure that his grind and stuff was good. But again, you're trying to extrapolate what he doing on to how you would view this and how you would handle that situation. And really, the way that I just look at this stuff is it really makes you look kind of bad, Oshay. To me, it make you look kind of bad. And the reason why it make you look kind of bad is like, look, bro. Again, it's gonna sound, call me whatever, I don't give a fuck. This is something that, again, if you're going to be defensive over this stuff, either you don't have the money and success of Country Wayne, or you simply haven't experienced that. And again, I don't know if you have kids or not, Oshay, if you do ever watch this, but if you ain't got no kids or nothing like that, or you don't got no baby mamas, then you just literally speaking on this from like a third party point of view. You're not really looking at it like that. At the same time, again, that whole comment of you don't know what the fathers or you don't know what the stepdaddies and stuff like that or other men are doing to the kids and stuff like that, that's a bad faith argument. Because you could say, well, when a kid goes to school or something like that, you can have guys up there, perverts and stuff like that, messing with the kids. But you're gonna still send them to school because you're gonna come into a situation with good faith. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's a bad faith argument to me. Like, stuff like that is just like, it's like, why would you say something like that, G? Like, come on, man. I think you're a little bit better than that, or you should be a little bit better than that, and be able to come at this situation a little bit better than that. But see, since it doesn't, and this is, you know what, I'll go ahead and continue the video. This is kind of the problem what I've been having lately with much of the whole manosphere, because as that a certain narrative and a certain agenda is trying to be pushed. And even if somebody else's narrative or somebody else's situation doesn't necessarily really apply, you have to push it almost, even when what they are presenting doesn't really match up. Even with what they present don't even match up. But again, the situation, and I'll stand behind this, the situation with Country Wayne and the situation with Nick Cannon does not in any way, to me, negatively impact them, nor does it negatively impact like the issues of a lot of what the manosphere talks about. Because their situations are different. Again, both of them dudes are millionaires, at the very minimum millionaires, if not multimillionaires. So their situation is different, and how they go carry themselves about is different. And again, you cannot, you're saying basically what you're trying to, from this guy, from what I gather, and I'm going to continue watching the rest of the video, but you're trying to insinuate that you think the dude is going to go broke. But if that was the case, he's had more kids, and he's only gotten richer since he's had the kids. He's had, before his success and stuff like that, he had already had like 7 or 8 kids. And he's continued to have more and continue to progress in his success. So your line of reasoning and stuff like that doesn't even match up to what history has shown us, or what he has shown us since coming out. When did Country Wayne come out? He was out again. He was out way before that, but his first little Facebook video blew up in what, like, shit, that had to be like, shit, 2013, 2014, something like that. And a dude been on his grind ever since then. Really before then, but really on his grind and popping that shit off since then. So it's like, what you saying don't even match up to the actual reality of what's happening. And that's because, again, he is different. He is not the typical dude about here. Not the typical Pookie and Ray Ray about here, not trying to take care of his. And that's another thing. I think when it comes to situations like this, we should be looking at the positive of the situation. Because he could be one of the Pookies and Ray Rays. He could just be, bitch, I'm going to give you the minimum child support that you're going to get. You're going to take care of the kids, and you're going to do you, and I don't give a damn. But that's not what he's doing. He's taking care of his kids, and he's taking care of his baby mamas. Because I would presume that he understands that if his baby mama is happy, and his kids are happy, and they good, and they set, then he good. And that's who he chose to be his baby mamas. It is what it is. And again, that's just him exercising his options, and he has the means to be able to raise that. He's found the means to be able to raise that shit. He found the means to be able to raise his children and stuff like that in that situation and stuff to the best of his ability. Again, the one knack you'd be able to give to the dude is that there's no way that you're going to be able to watch all the kids or be able to see or be in the kids' life as much as if you had one kid or something like that. But if he's seeing his kids on a regular basis and he's actually involved in their life and stuff like that, then I would think that we should be able to focus on that positive and stuff like that. Especially again when it's women out here, dudes out here, well, really mainly women out here with baby daddies to where again they only got one damn kid, and the one kid ain't seen their damn baby. That one kid ain't seen their father in 10 or 15 years. You see what I'm saying? And obviously that's not what Kountry Wayne is known for. He's known for being a pretty good dad. So obviously he has some type of a good track record there. It's not, as far as we know, he don't have any type of negative or bad track record or history with his kids. Like, I don't know, it's just a bad faith argument to me. All right, let's go back on to this real quick.
Okay? And I'm not even blaming the baby mama for this kind of foolishness. I'm blaming him because look at this. What are those kids supposed to become? Daddy don't care. Daddy obviously is reckless. He's not gonna be investing in their life. Okay?
Let me pause it real quick. Once again, Oshay, you might want to do your research before you just come out and start talking shit. The dude has 2 of his oldest kids and all of his skits, and they all getting paid. All of his kids are well off and fine. All of his baby mamas, they got their houses and shit, and they good to go. You see what I'm saying? But this is that whole, and this is kind of, like I said, kind of my problem with the whole manosphere or red pill, whatever the hell you want to call it. This is kind of my problem when it comes to this right here. Is motherfuckers want to gatekeep on what is and isn't good for the black community and stuff like that. The dude, let's say he got 10 kids right now. If all 10 of those kids grow up to be successful, are you going to credit him from that too? Or are you going to just say that was the baby mama? See, you can't have it both ways, but as of right now, he's doing what he needs to do for his kids. So what the hell does that matter? But the main thing is that you're saying that the kids, you basically just insinuated to the kids they could grow up to be shit when they got 2 kids right now that probably have as much money, if not more money than you got. Or they own shit that they father built at 33. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, instead of trying to talk down on a motherfucker and stuff like that, really what you bottom need to be doing is like worried about you and what you need to do. Obviously, Kountry Wayne ain't got no problems getting these women up out here. He's not out here complaining about women or nothing like that. He obviously ain't got no problem with raising his kids, because you don't hear his baby mamas talking about issues with raising the kids or issues with money and stuff like that. So what is the issue here? The only person that seems to have a problem in all of this equation and stuff like that is people like you, Oshay, and the motherfuckers that really want to rock with you and just dick ride. Because other than that, in this whole equation, ain't no problem or nothing going on. So what's really the issue up on this shit? That's what I want to know. Like, god damn, bro. You tripping, man. Alright.
He don't care about the kids. If he did, he wouldn't have so many of them. You have 10.
Bullshit. If he didn't care about them, he wouldn't be in their lives and he wouldn't be providing for their baby mamas. You sound goofy as heck right now.
How can you spend time with kids? You don't have a nuclear family, so you're just throwing money at the shit. What are those kids supposed to become?
No. See, here we go with the bullshit. Another bullshit argument. Let's go ahead and get the other one popped up. Another bullshit argument. Nuclear family. Now, I would agree. The nuclear family is typically, for the typical male and female, that is the way to go. That is the way to go. Kountry Wayne is not no typical dude up out here, though. That's again, you're trying to compare regular dudes to that motherfucker. And you can't really do that, especially when he's in the whole kind of the Hollywood scene. He ain't come up from Hollywood, and you pound his chest about not doing that, but he's in that type of scene. And typically, Hollywood families don't necessarily have nuclear dynamics to them like that. At least from what we see on tabloids and shit like that, and whatever that they choose to allow to expose and stuff. But I think, given, watching their Kardashians and watching like Paris Hilton and stuff like that, we can pretty much say that they don't have the typical life that typically people have. Typical husbands or wives have. Their experience in life is going to be different. But again, to sit there and say that he don't care about his kids because he's having more kids, even though he's out here grinding his hardest to make sure that his kids could get whatever that they need for them, whether they need some new shoes, they need a car, they need whatever, they need guidance on how to create a business and stuff like that. To sit up there and say that he don't care, that's like, gee, where is that coming from? Because that sounds like coming from a place of insecurity about yourself, not Kountry Wayne. Kountry Wayne ain't out here struggling. It would make, this argument right here would make more sense if Kountry Wayne was actually out here struggling. This argument would make sense if somebody like Nick Cannon was out here struggling. But both of those two people, because again, I'm bringing up Nick Cannon because Nick Cannon was brought up into the video. If y'all want to go back and watch, y'all can go watch the whole thing again. But Nick Cannon obviously is a struggle. Nick Cannon ain't just not going to go broke anytime soon. Nick Cannon's got residual income to where he dies, his kids will be eating off from that shit. He's good. His family is good. His legacy is good. Kountry Wayne is almost getting to that goddamn level to where his kids is going to be eating good, and his kids, regardless of if his 10 major kids, they each got 2 kids of their own, and they each got 2 kids of their own, they gonna all be eating off the empire that this dude created. So in that sense, what does it matter? Like, what is your problem with him? Or is it that you got a problem with Pookies and Ray Rays, and you're associating him with a Pookie and a Ray Ray? If you want to say that, then say that. Say he's a Pookie and a Ray Ray. But at the end of the day, the difference between a Pookie and a Ray Ray is a Pookie and a Ray Ray typically doesn't take care of their kids and take care of their own. They in and out the house. If they in the kid's life at all, and again, they not really dropping no type of financial shit. Pookies and Ray Rays wouldn't be a problem in the hood if Pookies and Ray Rays actually took care of their hood and shit like that, and actually took care of women and took care of their kids and stuff like that. But typically they don't. That's why people got problems with Pookies and Ray Rays. But this is obviously not what's going on here. So that's why I'm trying to understand, like, where is this even really coming from? Like, what's the real angle up on this? All right, so let's go ahead and continue watching this. But yeah, this is, like I said, this from real bad faith arguments, if you ask me.
They're not going to become something that great. Usually. Okay? Because those moms that you're taking care of, I can pretty much, just looking at Kountry Wayne, I can pretty much think that those baby mamas don't have a whole lot of skills. Those kids are not going to be so intelligent or academic or anything like that. You just don't, you got to put kids in the best situation to develop. And then you just giving them free money, so, like, those chicks can deal with whoever they want to deal with now. Morris, Pookies, and Ray Rays like you. And that's all he is
Bingo. How did I know? That's his problem. That's his main problem. He ain't got a problem with Kountry Wayne. He got a problem with Pookies and Ray Rays because he doesn't. I'm gonna wrap up at the end of this. Let me go ahead and rip this.
Is a comedian that's a Pookie and a Ray Ray. Just spreading his seed all through the black world. And he talking about at the end of the video, they ain't gonna never find nobody like me. I hope to God not. Let's pray that they don't. Okay, bro, because I'm going to just be honest, man. Guys like this, I don't care how much money they got, man. These guys are losers. I'm sorry. That's just I mean, he might be a funny comedian, something like that, but who does something like this? It's just it's so trash. You know, kids need an intact family, not 5 different baby mamas that you don't take seriously. And I could tell you probably why he's cool with this. Maybe he grew up like this. But it's not cool. Okay? Children are nothing to be played with. They're not a plaything. It's not a funny thing. Ain't nothing funny about this shit. It's not a joke. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy. Oh.
Yeah, I gotta heavily disagree with this one. That's bad. That's a real bad take. First of all, let me look if Oshay Duke Jackson got kids of his own. Because if you ain't got no kids of your own, your opinion on how you treat kids and how kids come and affect the black community, I really mean. But let me see something. No. We know Oshay Duke Jackson. I'm trying to see if he got kids. Yeah, it don't even look like. It don't even look like you got kids, bro. So your argument on this stuff is real moot. See, I knew his angle with this was going to be to go with the Pookie and Ray Ray angle. A Pookie and a Ray Ray, from how I would define it, and maybe he defines it differently. But a Pookie and a Ray Ray is a dude that typically is associated with drugs, associated with scamming. But the main thing is that they simply do not take care of their kids. They will have multiple baby mamas, and those multiple baby mamas will end up living in single parent households with absolutely no minimum to no type of male guidance or anything. Kountry Wayne's situation isn't even like that. He obviously, again, this is why I say this is a real bad take from Oshay, and this is just coming from somebody who literally just saw a clip. He basically did, you know how motherfuckers was coming at Kevin Samuels because of the chicks was coming at him because of a clip that they saw, the whole what they call that average at best thing. He's basically doing that shit instead of actually going and researching who O'Shea Duke Jack, not O'Shea, but who Kountry Wayne is. He's taking that small little clip. He's looking at pictures and saying, "Oh, I got an assessment about you. You must be a Pookie and a Ray Ray. You're terrible for the community." Not knowing, again, the dude got two of his own kids in his clips, stuff like that, making sure that they get in their bag. And he's in his daughter's life. He's in his kid's life. Again, if he wasn't, we're in a day and age to where a baby mama gonna let you know if you are or are not that dude. If he wasn't that dude, the baby mama would definitely let the world know. This dude don't do nothing. Trying to keep my language clean, but this dude don't do nothing for the kids. He barely provides for them. He never sees them or anything like that. But obviously, that's not happening. That's why I said, and this whole equation and stuff like that, when it comes to Oshay, I keep saying Oshay. When it comes to Kountry Wayne, and when it comes to Nick Cannon, is that the only people who have a problem, but the main people who have a problem with them are just other motherfuckers looking into it, and usually the other motherfuckers from the manosphere. Which I don't. Again, maybe I don't belong on the manosphere. Maybe I need to find something different or just whatever. But it be those motherfuckers that got a problem with it. Again, this would make more sense if he was a actual Pookie and a Ray Ray. If he was an actual dude out here creating a kid that he knows he cannot take care of and has no interest in taking care of. That would be different, but obviously that is not what Kountry Wayne is doing here. Obviously that's not what Nick Cannon is doing. So how are you going to sit up there and make a claim about them? Because again, you're coming from me, at least how I look at it, you're coming from the perception of just a regular dude and then bring up this whole nuclear family dynamic and stuff like that, especially when you ain't got no damn dope kids of your own. And this is where I think a lot of women be, pushing back on motherfuckers. Like, look, if you could be up here proclaiming something, if you could be up here touting your chest and puffing your chest up about something, then you damn well better be about it and speak up on that shit. And don't give me this whole bullshit nonsense of, oh, I'm going to have a kid when I'm 45 or some shit like that. Nah, if you're going to be touting this whole nuclear family stuff like that, if we're going back to the 40s and the 50s, in the 40s and the 50s, couples were having kids in their 30s, not in their 40s. Couples were getting together when they were, with their traditional wives and stuff like that at the age of, in their 20s and stuff like that, and raising that family together. Again, they would typically be having kids by the time that they were in the 30s and stuff like that. So if you're a 40-year-old dude out here running, you ain't never had no kid, you're not going to trying to speak on what's best for the nuclear family and what's best for the black community and stuff like that. To me, your point is going to be a little bit more mooted on that. Especially in this situation like this. I would agree that ideally, yes, it would have been better for Kountry Wayne to have them kids with one single baby mama. I agree with that. But that's just me. But if he chooses to, like Kountry Wayne says, not Kountry Wayne, but like Kevin Samuel says, exercise his options, right? And he chooses to have baby mamas, but he also takes care of them, then again, what is the problem in this situation? What is the problem? What is the issue in this cog or whatever, outside of you just being mad to just be mad? Because that's just what it seems like to me. You're just mad to be mad. I don't know, man. Anyway, I just want to come on and comment on that real quick, and then let me give my final thoughts on this whole. Because again, I was, and I still am, liking the whole manosphere stuff because I like some of the issues that they bring up, but a lot of people are. It's becoming less of a movement to me, or as the more that I watch videos surrounding these subjects, it's becoming less of a movement and becoming to me like more of a goddamn cult. And if you don't fit this thing of whatever these manospherean people put, then you aren't in the manosphere, or you're not good for the manosphere. I got a question for Mr. Oshay though, because this is a question that actually came up on my broadcast with the Actualized Man, aka the Natty Negro. Paying for box. Obviously, Kevin Samuels pays for box, right? Or has paid for it in the past. Whether it was high class hooker or low class hooker, he did the shit. A lot of people would attribute to paying for the box with simping. Do you think Kevin Samuels is a simp? O'Shea Jackson. That's my question to you. Other than that, I will see y'all next time, whenever next time is. Peace out.